Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Vicky and today you're joining me to make these super cute, really quite tiny, especially for me, earrings. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like pretty much a big, possibly even a shoulder duster earring. So these are really, really small. They actually just like, they're as big as my nail here. So that's they are quite tiny, but I really love them. Surprisingly, I'm not really a small earring person, but I do actually really, really love these. And I think that may have something to do with these really pretty 2x4mm cubic zirconia charms. They came in the current Beading School Academy box, which is the Bavarian Princess. These boxes do change every 2 months, so if you're watching this video in the future and the box may have changed, you may not be able to get that one, but I will link all the materials separately so that you'll be able to just go onto their website and find what you need. But the Bavarian Princess box is really, really beautiful, and it's full of loads of really gorgeous components, seeds, crystals, materials I wouldn't normally pick up, like these little cubic zirconias. I would never have ever chose to probably buy these, but not having used them, I can definitely recommend them. They are a really pretty bead to use. So let's take a little look at what we need to make our earrings. So all the materials that are in the earrings are available in the current box, as I said, and this is what I've used. I've used the size 11 Delica bead, a size 15 seed bead, an 8mm chaton, a 2mm pearl, and the 2x4mm cubic zirconia charms. I have a pair of ear wires on my mat, and I'm using size 12 needle and the fire line, my £6 fire line. The needle and fire line are not included in the box, just the bits you see here, and all the other beads and crystals that come with it. So let's get started. Okay, so what I will say before we do start is that I'm only going to make a single one of these little charms, these little earrings, because I have a pair of earrings and I'm just going to make one for the pendant now, because I have actually started to run out of the cubic zirconias, so I don't have enough to make a pair, but I have a pair, so I'm cool with that. And I'm using roughly about 40 centimeters of fire line. Obviously work with what you're comfortable with. You may want to go for a full wingspan and then just make one, chop, and then make the next one, but I'm only using 40 centimeters because that's roughly all it took to make this little earring. So okay, we're going to start by picking up 8 2mm pearls. So that's 8 2mm pearls. Okay, so that's my 8 2mm pearls, and I'm going to take them all the way down my thread, and I'm going to leave roughly about a 10 centimeter tail. Now I'm going to put a knot in my thread now with these. I'm going to turn them into a loop, but if you don't really want a knot, you can just go through them all again to create a loop. But I've made these two so far, and I wanted the ring of pearls to be really tight to start with, so I am going to knot them with a double overhand knot, so just like so. There we go. So that's my double overhand knot, and I'm just going to pull that knot there. I know it's quite far away from my beads, but you can just pull like that, and I love that trick. It's such a good trick. So, and there we go, my knot is now in place. We are going to use these beads again, so the knot may hinder you if you're using quite a thickish needle. That's why I'm using my size 12. You could probably even go down to a size 13 needle if you needed to. And now I'm just going to take my needle through the next 2 pearls, just away from that knot. Okay, so as you can see, I now have a ring of 8 2mm pearls in place. So I'm going to start to make the cubic zirconia part first, and to do that I'm going to pick up one of the cubic zirconias from the back. So taking my needle, let me put it in my hand so you can see what I'm doing here. You can see the back's quite pointed. I hope you can see that here. got quite a point. Oh, I'm not sure you can see that. It's so tiny. So it's got a point on it, and the front is flat. So it's kind of like the chaton, but just a lot smaller. And I'm going to pick up one of these going through with the hole facing me and the point facing me. I'm going to pick up one size 11 Delica, and then I'm going to pick up another of the zirconias, the cubic zirconias, but I'm going to take it through the front of the cubic zirconia, so the point is at the back while it's sat on my finger like so. And then I'm still coming out of this pearl. I'm going to go back into the pearl I'm coming out of and pull tight. And that should mean now, because we picked them up in a different way, that the flat side of our cubic zirconias is now facing upwards. So the points are at the back, and this Delica is now sat between the two front sides of the zirconias. I'm now going to take my needle through the next pearl along on that base row of pearls. And from now on, we're just going to pick up our cubic zirconias via the back, so with the point facing us as we pick them up. So I'm going to pick up one cubic zirconia and one size 11 Delica, like so. And I'm going to come through that cubic zirconia that is sat as close to me here, the one that's closest. I'm going to come through the hole of that one and back into the pearl I'm coming out of, like so. You may have to just twist them back around, because they may decide to twist and you don't want that, so you may have to twist them back out so that their holes are sitting close to the pearls and the main body is sitting outwards. And now you can see that that cubic zirconia we've just added and the one before it is now joined with this little size 11 Delica. And again, we're going to go forward onto the next pearl on that base row. And I'm going to repeat that once more. So I'm going to pick up one cubic zirconia from the back, so the point is facing me, and the size 11 Delica, like so. I'm going to go through the cubic zirconia closest to where I'm coming out of, and so the one before, the one we've just added, and into the 2mm pearl I'm also coming out of. Put them straight, pull tight, and go through the next pearl on that base row. So now you can see that these little cubic zirconias are all sitting in a circle around the pearls, and we've got all the flat sides on the front, and if you turn it over you'll have all the points on the back. So we're just going to continue adding one cubic zirconia and one Delica all the way around until we come to our 8th pearl. Okay, so I've now added a total of 8 cubic zirconias, and I'm now coming out of my 8th pearl. The reason I managed to add 8 without going through the 8th pearl is because we started with these 2. But now I'm coming out of this 8th pearl, and I just want to go into the first cubic that I added, that's there, so into this one here, and I just want to join this one to this one using the Delica. So we're just joining the 2 that are in place. So the very first one we picked up, and now I'm going to pick up a Delica and go back into the one that the last one we've added, and that Delica will then bring them 2 together, and we'll go back into the pearl, the 8th pearl, and that's probably where your knot is, so you may find it's a little bit tight. So give it a little pull, there we go, and pull tight. So your work should now look like this. You should have all these cubic zirconias, all the flat face sitting up towards you with a Delica in between them, and you should have a total of 8 cubic zirconias and 8 Delicas. Now I'm going to go up into one of my cubic zirconias and into a Delica, like so. I'm now going to pick up 2 Delicas, and I'm just going to go straight into the next Delica along, like so. And repeat that again, 2 Delicas and straight into the next Delica along. like so. And then I'm just going to repeat that all the way around, adding in sets of 2 delicas between the single delicas. I'm just adding in my last set of 2 delicas and going into that first delica that we started from. And I'm going to go forward through my first 2 delicas that I added in this round. So you now should have this circle of beads on top of your cubic zirconias. Now I'm going to pick up my chaton and I'm going to pop that in, and it won't sit in tight just yet because we haven't added any more beads yet to do that, but I want these to be I want it to be in place to help the new delicas we're about to add to sit nicely, otherwise they could flop about. So I'm coming out to that first set of 2 delicas that we've just added. I'm going to pick up 1 delica and I'm going to jump that delica that joins our cubics. I'm going to jump that one and go through the next set of 2. So you should know where you're putting your single delicas here, because they should always sit above the delica we used with our cubic zirconias. I'm just going to pull that tight, and as you can see, because I've put the chaton in place, that new delica is now sitting up. Let me turn it around without dropping the chaton. There we go. You can see this it's like a peyote stitch really, but you're going through 2 instead of 1. So yes, okay, so we're going to repeat that again. We're coming out to that second set of 2. I'm going to pick up 1 delica. I'm going to jump that single delica from that sits between the 2 cubics and go through the next set of 2 delicas, like so. And then I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. And I'm just adding in my last single delica before stepping up into the first delica I added in that round. So now you can see I'm coming out of the first single delica we've just added. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pull, just to tighten up the bezel. There we go. I have to say, I put hand cream on my hands prior to recording, and that was a rookie mistake because my hands are getting stuck to the beads. So there we go. Tips and tricks: do not put hand cream on before you start beading. Okay, so we're coming out of this single size 11 delica, and now I'm going to pick up 2 size 15s, and I'm just going to go straight into that next single delica we've just added in the previous round, like so. And they should just sit over the 2. I don't know that. They should just sit over them 2 delicas that you added between your single delicas between your cubics. Just going to repeat that again. Pick up 2 delicas, 2 15s, and just go straight into the next single delica along from the previous round. And then you're just going to continue that all the way around. I'm just adding in my last set of 2 15s and going into that first delica that I started from. And then I'm just going to pull that tight. And that's how your work should look now. We're now going to step up into the first 2 seed beads that we've just added, the first 2 size 15s. And you can probably give that another little pull now to tighten up your bezel. And now we're just going to add 1 single size 15 between these sets of 2. So I'm picking up 1 15, coming out of this set of 2, and I'm just going to go straight into the next 2 15s. And I'm going to repeat that again. Pick up 1 15, coming out of this set of 2 15s. I'm just going to go straight through the next 2. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. And I'm just about to add in my last single 15, and I'm going straight through the first 2 15s that I started from. Now I would recommend now that you just go through all them beads again, all them 15s again, just to reinforce that round, just to make it tight, just in case it's feeling a little bit loose or anything. Just go through them all again just to reinforce the round. Okay, once you've reinforced that round, we're just going to go through, coming out of this set of 2 of 15s, we're just going to go into that single delica, And then we're going to step down into the 2 delicas we added earlier, the first 2 delicas there. And now we're going to pick up 115, and you can see between the sets of 2 delicas you have these 2 single delicas. We're going to jump over them and just go straight through the next set of 2 delicas. So now this single 15 should sit on top, if you're looking from the side, of the 2 single delicas, the one that joins the cubics and the one that has the 15s in place. And we're using the sets of 2 delicas either side of it. And we do it again. I'm going to pick up 115, and I'm just going to go straight into the next 2 set of delicas. And you'll be able to see these as well because this set of 2 15s will sit right in front of the set of 2 delicas. So just pull that tight, and we're just going to add 15s all the way around between the sets of two delicas. I'm just adding in my last 15, going into the first 2 that we started from, the first 2 delicas. Move that tail out of the way. So now your little component should look like this. Should look like that on the back and that on the front. We're now going to step up into that first 15 that we've just added. So the first 15. And now we're going to add this little loop for our ear wire. So it's a very simple little loop, and I've put the ear wire within the loop rather than attaching the ear wire later. But you can, if you just wanted to make the loop, you can then add the ear wire later, but instead of where I've put the ear wire, you'll put a 15 instead. But I will show you how to make it with the ear wire, and then I'll quickly take that out and we'll just do it without the ear wire, because as I said, this is going to be a pendant, so I'm going to put a jump ring in there and then hang to a chain. So to add the ear wire, I'm going to pick up 2 delicas, and then make sure you hold your ear wire the right way so you know which way. You don't want it obviously turning to the back. I'm coming out of that side, the left hand side of my bead, so I'm going to pick up 2 delicas and I'm just going to go straight into the ear wire that way, and then I'm going to pick up 2 more delicas. Let me put that all them down and I can show you them on my mat, on my finger even. So I've got 2 delicas, my ear wire and 2 delicas, and they're coming out of the 15. I'm just going to go straight back into that 15 from the opposite side, and I'm just going to pull tight like so. And now you can see that these 2 delicas sit either side of this ear wire. I'm going to go forward into the first delica like so, and then I'm going to pick up 115, and I'm going to go through my next delica, ear wire, delica. So through the delica, through the ear wire, and through the next delica. And then I'm going to pick up 115, and I'm just going to go into the last delica and back into the size 15 we started the previous round from. And we added in 4 delicas. And as you can see now, that has created the loop with the ear wire at the top. Now I reinforced that a couple more times just because you want it really tight. You want that ear wire to sit really nicely secure between them delicas, and then you can just weave in your threads and that would be you finished. That would be your earring finished. But if you're going to make the pendant, I'm just going to take all these off, bear with me. We're going to make our loop a little bit bigger for the pendant, just so we can fit a jump ring through it. So we're actually going to pick up 6 delicas. I'm going to pick up 6 delicas. I'm still coming out of that 15, and I'm just going to go straight back through it like so. So now you've got these 6 delicas in place. I'm going to go forward into my first delica, and now I'm just going to add a 15 between each delica. So I'm going to pick up 1 and just go into the next one, and then I'm going to pick up 1 and go into the next one, and then I'm just going to repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. and eventually I will be going back into the single 15 that I started from. And I have this bigger loop which now I can pop a jump ring through, or I was looking through some of my stash before, and though these colours aren't for this, I was thinking that you could have like some connectors. So I have these that I got from beading school recently, and they would sit nicely together. And then I suppose actually you would have used this connector the same way as you would have used it on here, on this one, instead of the ear wire. But you could add connectors that way. Or another thing I found, let me just grab them from a previous box, I'll just open these to show you what I mean, is now once you've added the jump ring on there, you could actually hang off something like this on one side to give you more of a drop kind of earring. So you could have that in there, and then you could just add another little loop to the top with your ear wire. So essentially that to that, here, there. So that would be really cool as well. There's lots of options with this little component that you'll be able to use it for, and lots of ways you can style it up yourself. So that's our component finished, and obviously you can follow all the instructions again to make your second earring, or if you're making a pendant it'll look like that and you'll just need to weave off your threads. But yes, that's us finished. I'm going to weave off them threads in a second. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I would really appreciate you subscribing to my channel, and I hope you enjoy wearing your earrings. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye now.